Welcome to Northman Stories, where every tale brings adventure, imagination, and important lessons. Today we meet a kind but easily fooled king who welcomes a magical cat into his palace, and soon learns that not every gift of magic is as harmless as it seems. In a land far, far away, nestled between Marshmallow Mountains and Lemonade Rivers, there was a very peaceful kingdom. This kingdom was ruled by a very sleepy king. Now, this king wasn't just sleepy. He was a professional napper. His only other passion, giant sandwiches. We're talking sandwiches so big, they needed their own zip code. His days were simple. Nap, eat a giant sandwich, nap again. Life was good. One sunny afternoon, as the king was dreaming about a skyscraper made of pastrami, a very peculiar visitor snuck into the palace. It was a cat, but not just any cat. This was a magical cat with fur as sparkly as a disco ball and eyes that twinkled with mischief, with a tiny, almost invisible puff of magic. The cat charmed the royal guards, who suddenly found their own shoelaces incredibly fascinating. The cat waltzed right into the throne room. The king, waking up from his nap, blinked his sleepy eyes at the shimmering feline. "Well, hello there," he mumbled, still half in dreamland. The cat, with a voice that sounded like tiny bells, introduced itself. "Your Majesty, I am a magical cat. I can grant wishes, but there's a catch. I only grant silly wishes." The king, whose brain was still mostly focused on sandwiches, thought this was brilliant. Silly wishes? Excellent. No paperwork, no complicated treaties. "I'm in." He didn't ask a single question. The cat's eyes twinkled. The fun was about to begin. "For your first wish, Your Majesty," the cat declared, pointing a paw at the king's head, "behold, your crown is now a bowl of the most delicious, invisible soup in the world." The king's eyes went wide. He carefully lifted the crown off his head, held it like a bowl, and started slurping enthusiastically. "Delightful," he exclaimed. "A bit salty, but a fine vintage." The court jesters just stared, their own jokes suddenly seeming very, very bland. Next, the cat pointed to the magnificent royal throne. "Your second wish, sire. All the chairs in this room are now secret elevators." The king hopped off his throne and onto a small wooden stool. He pressed a non-existent button and stood there, waiting. "Are we going up?" he asked, after a moment. "It's a very slow, very secret elevator, Your Majesty," the cat explained patiently, "for security." The king nodded wisely. Of course. Very clever." He spent the next 20 minutes riding different chairs around the room, convinced he was exploring new floors of his palace. For the final trick, the cat led the king to the grand royal mirror. "And for your grand finale," the cat announced with a flourish, "this mirror is now a gateway to the legendary Sparkle Kingdom." The king pressed his face against the cold glass. "It's so sparkly in there," he gasped, seeing his own reflection. He started waving at the other king. "Hello, is your kingdom as happy as mine?" He then tried to walk through the mirror, gently bumping his nose. Must be a passer," he mused, not discouraged in the least. Throughout all this, the little magical cat was trying its best to hold in its laughter. Little giggles escaped, then bigger chuckles, until finally it was rolling on the floor, howling with laughter. The sound echoed through the throne room. The king stopped trying to communicate with his reflection and looked down at the hysterical cat. He saw the guards, still staring at their shoes. He saw the courtiers trying to hide their smiles. And he looked at his crown, still in his hand, like a soup bowl. Slowly, a smile spread across the king's face, then a small chuckle. Tinaigrette, booming laugh that shook the whole castle. He wasn't angry at all. He realized he hadn't had this much fun since he tried to build a pillow fort out of the royal treasury. "You!" he said to the cat, wiping a tear of laughter from his eye. "You are the silliest creature I've ever met." From that day on, the magical cat didn't have to sneak into the palace. The king gave it a new job. royal jest. Its only duty was to come up with new, silly tricks every single day. The kingdom was no longer just peaceful. It became the happiest, silliest kingdom in the entire world. The sleepy king still loved his giant sandwiches, but now his days were filled with laughter, invisible soup, and secret chair elevators. And it was all thanks to a mischievous cat who knew that sometimes the best magic is just a good, hearty laugh. Thank you for watching Northman Stories. Watch our next video for more imagination, adventure, and wisdom.